Well, the governor dealing certainly with a lot of auto insurance issues of late, and just last week she requested a report on two specific parts of auto insurance rates in our state. Tom Sinus here now to break down and discuss the areas of the report and what those findings might mean for our premiums eventually.
Boy, this has been one heck of a busy week for auto no fault. We had a bill coming out of the Senate, a bill coming out of the House.
You're right.
But before that, we had an order from Governor Whitmer instructing the Department of Insurance and Financial Services to conduct an investigation about how certain aspects of our auto insurance premiums are set.
Right, good question for
sure. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about, well, what was the order and what is it that's going to be investigated by the Department of Insurance? So to understand that, understand the system we really have right now. We have what many people call a file and use insurance system. And that really means that an insurance company, when they want to set a rate, they go down to the insurance commissioner, they file the rate, and they're allowed to use the rate.
Wow.
The only time they're ever told they can't use the rate is if the rate is quote unquote excessive.
Right, which is so gray.
You're right. The definition of what excessive is so vague and so gray that you won't be surprised to hear that in nearly 44 years of having the no-fault law, no rate's ever deemed to be excessive.
Nothing's been excessive. Everything's good here.
So that leads us to the governor's order. The governor said to the Department of Insurance and Financial Services, I want you to investigate how two things are affecting our rates. The first is what are called non-driving rating factors, which is a clunky phrase, but it really means the use of things that have nothing to do with driving.
Credit score?
Credit score is a perfect example. Whether you own a home, whether you're employed, sometimes whether you're married or single, all these things that don't have anything to do with whether or not you've been into a wreck or had any speeding tickets. Those are called non-driving rating factors. So the governor asked the Insurance Bureau to investigate how insurance companies are using non-driving rating factors to set premiums. Because there's been some amazing studies recently, studies that show if you live in the Detroit area, for example, if you live on one side of Mack Avenue or another, your premium could go double or triple, just based on where you live. So that's the first thing that's ordered. The second thing that's been ordered is whether or not insurance companies are appropriately reducing premiums for people, which is most people, who have what are called coordinated no-fault policies. What does that mean? Well, you can buy an auto no-fault policy, as do most people, that says, I'm going to have my health insurer pick up my medical expenses first, which is obviously a huge savings to the auto insurer because they get to offload that risk to the health insurer. Well, the law in Michigan says that if you buy one of those coordinated policies, your premium is supposed to be, quote, appropriately reduced. Unfortunately, the record over the years has been that the Insurance Bureau really has developed no mechanism for determining whether or not those coordinated policies are appropriately reduced. So that's the second thing that the governor asked the Bureau to investigate, whether coordinated auto policies are appropriately reduced. And it's somewhere around 85 to 90% of all policies that people purchase are coordinated. So these two things will be the subject of this investigation, will have effects on pretty much everybody.
A lot of vague words, appropriate and things like that. Where do we find you, Tom?
You want to find us online at www.sinusdramus.com. Shoot us an email at info@sinusdramus.com or give us a call the old-fashioned way at 616-301-3333.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Derek.